Each week in Taiwan by Number, we share with you a facet of life in Taiwan by way of a number. Now, this coming Sunday is Mother's Day, Natalie.
That's right.
So our topic is related to that. It's about breastfeeding. Now, in just a moment, we're going to share with you a report about how the WHO says that breastfeeding can help reduce the risk of your child becoming overweight. But first, a question for you.
Okay.
Little quiz.
All right.
What percentage of babies under 6 months old in Taiwan are exclusively breastfed?
20%?
20%?
One guess.
Okay. Very good guess. 20%. We'll have the answer for you in just a moment. First, have a look at this report. Taiwan is encouraging new mothers to breastfeed. Not only is it good for the baby, it's good for the mother, too. WHO research has found that babies that are breastfed for less than 6 months are more likely to become overweight children. Pediatrician Ce Sanwei says breastfeeding reduces insulin secretion, and bifidobacterium in breast milk can help reduce the likelihood of becoming overweight. A WHO study of 100,000 European school children found that of all the children that were not breastfed as babies, 1 in 5 was overweight. Last year in Taiwan, 46% of babies under 6 months were exclusively breastfed, close to the WHO world goal of 50% by 2025. The Health Promotion Administration's Chen Lijun says breast milk is the most natural, so it's better for babies than formula. The WHO recommends feeding babies only breast milk for the first 6 months, and along with solids until the age of 2. All right. So before the video, I asked you, what percentage of babies under 6 months of age are exclusively breastfed in Taiwan? And you saw the answer in the video. You said 20%?
Yeah.
And the answer is, have a look at this.
I'm so impressed. 46%. That's a lot. Because I did that with my first child. That was very hard to do.
I can't even imagine.
They get really hungry. And because breast milk is not as filling as formula milk. So you have to be there every 3 hours, or you have to pump, and there's a lot of work involved. But that's great. It's great that it's so high.
It is very good, and we're going to tell you some of the great reasons why it's good to have you breastfeed your child. But actually, I want to tell you another percentage. Back in the 1980s, the percentage of 6 months year old babies and under that were exclusively breastfed was only about 6%.
Wow, that's a major improvement.
A major improvement. And now, so as I was doing this research, I did look into some of the benefits of breastfeeding. And I know that you actually breastfed your kids, right? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
It's a great experience. I knew it was good for the kids because actually the doctors and the hospitals encourage you to do so. And it's great for their health and for their immunity and for bonding with your child. But it is demanding. It takes a lot of your time. And if you're working, you have to pump. There's a lot involved. They get hungrier faster, so it's more work. And you have to get up in the middle of the night, right? Your husband can't do that for you, right? so you have to be more committed than the average mom, maybe, who's not breastfeeding. So there's a lot of work involved, but it is a special experience. It's great for the child.
But as we've mentioned, there are some great reasons why breastfeeding is good for your child. It's also good for the mom. Do you know some of those reasons?
Well, I know it burns calories because you get hungrier when you breastfeed. But actually, it's supposed to help you lose the weight that you gained.
Helps the mom lose the weight,
yeah, not the kid.
Well, we did mention in the video that actually reduces
It keeps them from gaining too much weight later, right?
That's right.
And I know it's healthier. It's just like the perfect milk for them. So you just feel like you're doing a good job when you're doing that for your kids.
Absolutely. Well, we have a list of the different ways in which breastfeeding is good for the child and for the mom. First of all, as we mentioned, it is the perfect mix of fat, proteins, and vitamins. It also contains antibodies, and that means that it can help your baby fight off bacteria and viruses. It also reduces the risk of babies getting asthma and allergies. And finally, for the mom, as you mentioned, it helps the mom lose weight, but it also reduces the risk of certain kinds of cancer, breast cancer and ovarian cancer.
That's good news.
It is very good news. Now, one of the other things that I was looking into when I was researching this topic is the law here in Taiwan. And I want to actually give you a scenario and see if you can tell whether you think this is legal or illegal. And you can play along at home. Let's say you go into a public place, a supermarket, and you want to breastfeed your child in public. If somebody that works at the supermarket tells you to go somewhere else or go to a designated feeding room, is that legal or illegal in Taiwan?
I think it's illegal. I've been following this because I think that some people were offended by mothers publicly breastfeeding, but then women activists have been, trying to get the law changed so that they can do it whenever they want, wherever they want to, whenever they want to.
That's right. And I mean, it's a natural thing. We know this is an important part of a child growing up.
They're not trying to expose themselves or anything.
Exactly.
They're trying to feed. I mean, their kids, they're hungry in any place, any time. You can't really control that. So
exactly. And your answer is absolutely 100% correct. It is illegal in Taiwan for anyone to tell a breastfeeding mother that she needs to do it somewhere else. And there's a fine of up to 30,000 Taiwan dollars for doing that, for telling somebody that they can't breastfeed anywhere.
So you can see the government is totally behind breastfeeding. That's great.
Absolutely. And actually, there are very strict laws which passed in 2010. Those were actually changed this year. The fines were increased.
Oh, great.
And more places are required to provide designated areas for breastfeeding. And the most interesting part of the new changes to the law this year is that breastfeeding rooms cannot be in bathrooms.
Oh, they have to be separate.
That's right.
It's probably more sanitary that way, right?
That's absolutely right.
Well, that's great. Taiwan's a great place to breastfeed, put it that way.
I know there are still stigmas, so there's still a lot of work that needs to be done getting people on board with women breastfeeding in public.
But I think the rooms really help because I remember they didn't have them when I was breastfeeding, so I'd be in the middle of dinner or shopping, then I'd have to go to the bathroom for 20 minutes just to breastfeed. I'd miss out on all the conversation and everything. I'm like, okay, this is the mom's duty, So.
Well, hopefully in the future you'll be able to do it whenever you need to and wherever you need to.